The sound of the phone crashing against the marble floor silenced the entire penthouse. Ethan Kong stared at the hospital caller ID flashing on his screen, while his ex-wife's trembling voice echoed through the speaker. "You're the father for 8 months after the divorce." The billionaire CEO had convinced himself that Amara Brooks was gone forever, but the next words shattered everything he thought he knew. "And if you don't come now, you may never meet your son." Rain poured heavily across downtown New York City as Ethan Kong rushed out of his black Rolls-Royce and stormed into St. Mary's Hospital. The nurses immediately recognized him, not because he was one of the youngest Korean billionaires in America, but because 8 months earlier, every media outlet in the country had covered his cold public divorce from his black American wife, Amara Brooks, the woman he once loved more than his own life, the woman he believed betrayed him. Ethan's expensive shoes squeaked against the hospital floor as he reached the intensive care ward. And there she was, Amara, weak, pale, holding a tiny newborn wrapped in a blue blanket. For a moment, Ethan forgot how to breathe. The baby had his eyes. Amara slowly looked up at him, tears forming in her exhausted eyes. "I didn't want to tell you." Ethan's jaw tightened. "Then why now?" She swallowed painfully. "Because he deserves a father." The tiny baby suddenly grabbed Ethan's finger, and something inside the billionaire completely broke. 8 months earlier, Amara Brooks had never cared about money. Unlike the women surrounding Manhattan's elite parties, she wasn't interested in luxury brands or private jets. She was a school music teacher from Atlanta who loved old jazz records, homemade pancakes, and rainy afternoons, which was exactly why Ethan Kong fell hopelessly in love with her. The Korean billionaire first met Amara at a charity gala after accidentally spilling champagne on her blue dress. Instead of panicking like everyone else around him, Amara laughed. "You rich people really don't know how to hold glasses, huh?" That was the first time someone spoke to Ethan like a normal human being. Not a billionaire. Not a celebrity CEO. Just Ethan. 3 months later, they secretly got married, and for a while, life felt perfect. Until Ethan's mother arrived from South Korea. Mrs. Kong hated Amara immediately, not because she was poor, but because she believed no black American woman could ever fit into their powerful Korean family. At family dinners, she constantly insulted Amara, criticized her accent, her career, her background, even her cooking. Ethan always defended his wife at first, but the pressure slowly destroyed him. His company was collapsing under a billion-dollar merger. Investors were threatening to leave. The media constantly attacked their interracial marriage. And then the rumors started. Pictures surfaced online showing Amara entering a hotel with another man. Ethan felt his world collapse. He confronted her angrily that night. "Tell me the truth." Amara looked confused. "What are you talking about?" Ethan threw the photos across the kitchen counter. "Don't lie to me." Tears filled Amara's eyes immediately. "Ethan, he's my cousin." But Ethan was too hurt to listen, too angry, too exhausted. And in one terrible moment, he asked for a divorce. Amara signed the papers silently. But what Ethan never knew was that Amara had already discovered she was pregnant, and the stress from Ethan's mother had nearly caused her to lose the baby twice. So she left without telling him. Back in the hospital, Ethan stared quietly at the sleeping baby while guilt crushed his chest. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" he asked softly. Amara looked away. "Would you have believed me?" The question hit Ethan harder than any business failure ever could, because deep down he knew the answer. Probably not. Days passed, and for the first time in years, Ethan stopped caring about meetings, investors, or stock markets. All he wanted was to hold his son, little June Kong. The tiny boy quickly became the center of Ethan's world. Late at night, Ethan stayed awake watching his son sleep, while Amara rested beside them in the hospital room. Sometimes he caught himself staring at Amara too, the woman he never truly stopped loving. One evening, Ethan quietly spoke. "I was cruel to you." Amara remained silent. "I should have trusted you." A tear rolled down her cheek. "You broke my heart, Ethan." His eyes lowered painfully. "I know." For the first time since their divorce, Ethan cried. Not as a billionaire, not as a CEO, just as a man who realized he destroyed the best thing that ever happened to him. But their problems were far from over, because Ethan's mother had just learned about the baby, and she was furious. Mrs. Kong arrived at Ethan's penthouse the next morning dressed in an elegant white suit. Her cold eyes landed on Amara immediately. "This child changes nothing." Ethan's expression darkened. "Mother, she trapped you." Amara quietly picked up the baby carrier, but Ethan suddenly stood between them. For the first time in his life, he chose Amara completely. "Enough!" The room fell silent. Mrs. Kong stared at her son in shock. Ethan's voice became ice cold. "You spent years trying to destroy my marriage." "Ethan." "No." "You wanted control more than my happiness." His mother's face slowly changed. Not anger, pain. Because for the first time, she realized she might lose her son forever. Little June suddenly began crying loudly. Amara gently rocked him, and something unexpected happened. Mrs. Kong slowly approached the baby. June grabbed her finger exactly the way he grabbed Ethan's at the hospital. The old woman froze. Then her eyes softened for the very first time. "He has the Kong family eyes." Amara quietly nodded, and slowly, the walls around Mrs. Kang's heart began breaking. Months later, snow covered the streets of Manhattan as Ethan stood nervously inside a beautifully decorated church. Only this time, he wasn't standing there for a business event. He was waiting for Amara again. The church doors opened softly. Amara appeared in a breathtaking white dress, while little June wore a tiny tuxedo in his grandmother's arms. Ethan's eyes filled with tears instantly. As Amara reached the altar, she smiled softly. "You better not divorce me again." The entire church laughed. Ethan gently held her hands. "Never again." And this time, when they kissed, there were no cameras, no investors, no family pressure. Just love. The kind that survived heartbreak, distance, pride, and somehow found its way back home.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the story, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Also click on the notification bell, so that you will get notified whenever a new story comes up. You can also go ahead to tell me the country you are watching from, so that I can make a story for you.